Assalamualaikum and hi. Our group is excited to present our Modern Optics mini project, a DIY Galilean telescope prepared for Dr. Nabila binti Qasim. Our project team consists of Fawaz, Nurhusna, Huda, Amira, and myself, Rehana. Invented by Galileo in 1609, this refracting telescope design has two massive advantages for a DIY build. It produces an upright, right-side-up image naturally without needing extra heavy prisms, and it is incredibly compact. The physics relies on just two lenses working together. First, a convex objective lens gathers light from a distant object. Second, a concave eyepiece intercepts those light rays before they focus, bending them to create a magnified, sharp virtual image for our eyes. For our pool, both lenses share a 5 cm diameter. The objective lens has a positive focal length of 30 cm, giving us great light gathering power. The eyepiece is a negative lens with a focal length of 10 cm. By pairing these converging and diverging geometries, we can perfectly control the light path in a handheld tool. We use standard optical sign conventions here. A positive sign means light converges to a real focal point, which is our objective lens. A negative sign means light diverges from a virtual point, which describes our concave eyepiece. Finally, let's look at the math. To find our total lens separation, we add the focal length, L equal 30 cm plus negative 10 cm equal 20 cm. At just 20 cm, it easily beats our project's under negative 30 cm limit. For the magnification, we divide the objective focal length by the eyepiece focal length. M equals 30 over 10 equals 3. This gives us a crisp 3 times magnification power in a highly portable, successful DIY device. Thank you.
Good day everyone. Today I would like to walk you through the material, design and assembly process of our project. Let's start with the material and tools required. As you can see from the list and layout, we use 7 essential items. First, black cardboard tube as our main structure to prevent internal light reflection. Second, a convex lens with a focal length of positive 30 cm, which acts as our objective lens. A convex lens with focal length of negative 10 cm for our eyepiece. Next, a utility knife for cutting, and also binding and masking tape to secure the piece and seal light leak. A hot glue gun for strong structural adhesion, and finally, a standard ruler for precise measurements. Next, let's look at our exploded diagram. To understand how these parts interact, our device is broken down into 4 main components, each playing as a specific role. First, the objective lens. This is our convex lens. It is fixed firmly at the front of the main box to collect incoming light and form a real image. Second, a main box. This acts as the outer body. Its primary function is to block straight internal light and keep the optical path completely straight. Third, the sliding box. This fits right inside the main box. It slides smoothly in and out, allowing us to change the physical distance between two lenses so we can focus our targets different distance. For the eyepiece lens, this is our concave lens mounted at the front of the sliding box. It magnifies the image and importantly ensure the final image appear upright to the viewer. Now let's dive into the actual construction process. We broke this down into 6 straightforward steps. Step 1, we cut the cardboard into pieces based on previous dimension, and outer box measured 70 cm multiplied with 8 cm, and an inner sliding box measuring 19 cm multiplied with 7.3 cm. Step 2, we carefully cut clean circular hole into the front piece of both the main box and the inner box. Next, we fix the lens over those holes and the convex objective lens on the main box and the concave eyepiece lens on the inner box. We start assemble and glue the respective cardboard panel together to form the two separate boxes. Once dry, we insert the smaller sliding box into the larger main box, checking to ensure the sliding movement was completely smooth for easy focusing. Finally, we seal all the remaining outer gaps and joints using black tape to prevent any internal light leakage, ensuring maximum image clarity. To wrap up our construction phase, here is a look at the final prototype. There are 3 key highlights that make this design highly effective. First is use simple and low-cost material. By utilizing basic cardboards and readily available lens, we keep the production cost extremely minimal. Second, it's easy and assemble. The sliding nest box mechanism is high reliable without required complex mechanical parts. Third is lightweight and portable. The entire unit is compact, easy to carry around, and highly practical for quick use. Thank you.
Let's walk through the light path fundamentals of our telescope. This diagram shows exactly how light travels through the two lens system. First, parallel light rays coming from a distant object enter the converging objective lens. That's the convex lens of the left. Because it's converging, this lens begin bending the parallel rays inward, focusing them toward what we call an intermediate point. But before those rays actually converge and cross at the focal point, they hit our second lens, the diverging eyepiece, which is concave. This lens intercepts the rays before they reach focus and bends them back outward so they exit the system parallel again. That's what allows our eye to comfortably view the image without needing to refocus. These two lens combination, a converging objective paired with a diverging eyepiece, is actually the defining feature of a Galilean telescope design, which is what we built. In this slide, we show the complete schematic with all the ray traces drawn out, plus the key measurement involved. You can see the optical axis running straight through the center. Light rays enter from the left, hit the convex objective lens, and start converging toward what's labeled as the intermediate image. That's where the rays would have crossed and formed a red image if the second lens weren't there. Instead, the concave eyepiece lens intercepts those converging rays right before they cross and redirects them so they diverge slightly outward towards the eye. What the eye actually perceives is the final image, shown by the dashed line converging behind the lens. This is a virtual image. The total length of the telescope, labeled as L, equals to f naught minus fe, which is the focal length of the objective minus the focal length of the eyepiece. This subtraction rather than addition is exactly why Galilean telescope can be shorter than the sum of their two focal lengths. And importantly, this setup produces an upright, enlarged image, no image inversion. For this slide, we want to show the physical mechanism we built into our actual telescope. A telescoping tube that lets us adjust the distance between the objective and eyepiece lenses. On the left, you can see the tube push into its shortened position. When the separation between the two lenses is set exactly right, matching the ideal L we calculated, the image comes out sharp, crisp, and properly magnified. At this precise distance, light rays exiting the eyepiece run perfectly parallel, which is what lets your eye see a clear focus picture. On the right, we have pulled the tube out further, increasing the lens separation beyond the ideal point. Here, the image goes out of focus, it gets blurry, and interestingly, it doesn't just get fuzzier. The further you pull it, it actually looks like it's expanding, washing out into a big blurry fog the more you extend it. So this telescopic adjustment is really our way of physically tuning the lens separation to hit that ideal focus distance in real time.
We can track a light ray as it travels through a system by describing it with two simple parameters: its height above the optical axis, denoted as y, and its angle relative to the axis, denoted as theta. When we combine this, we have what is called a paraxial ray vector. To calculate how this ray changes as it passes through a component, we use transfer matrices. We have two fundamental matrices here. First, the free space propagation matrix, which simply describes a light ray traveling a distance z, and the thin lens matrix, which describes how a lens bends the ray using its focal length f. We apply a sun convention, positive focal length for the converging convex lenses, and negative focal lengths for diverging concave lenses. We now combine these elements to get the total optical effect of our telescope. We multiply the matrices in the correct order. Because light travels from the objective lens through the space and out through the eyepiece, we multiply them right to left as shown here. This gives us a comprehensive 2 by 2 matrix representing our entire system. For a telescope meant to view distant objects, we want an afocal system. This means parallel light rays entering the objective lens should exit the eyepiece as perfectly parallel rays, allowing our eyes to relax and focus naturally. For this to happen, the C element of our resulting matrix must be 0. Setting this C term to 0 and simplifying the algebra leads to a beautifully elegant relationship. The ideal separation Z must simply be the sum of the two focal lengths. When we plug in our specific values, positive 30 centimeters for our convex objective and negative 10 centimeters for our concave eyepiece, and we get exactly 20 centimeters.
Assalamualaikum, I will present part metric for infinity focus. To find our system metric for infinity focus, we substitute Z equals F1 plus F2 into the general ray transfer metric. Element A becomes 1 minus Z over F1, which simplifies to negative F2 over F1. B stays as F1 plus F2. C is 0 since a focal system has no need focusing power. And D becomes 1 minus Z over F2, simplifying to negative F1 over F2. This gives us our final afocal system metric. Plugging in our prototype's actual value and objective focal length F1 of plus 30 cm and eyepiece focal length F2 of negative 10 cm and an infinity focus separation Z of 20 cm, our final metric works out to A equals 1/3 B equals 20 cm, C equals 0 and D equals 3. Next, for angular magnification. The total angular magnification M is given directly by the D element. M equals D equals 1 minus Z over F2. Substituting our values give M equals 1 minus 20 over negative 10, which equals plus 3. We can verify this using the focal length ratio, negative F1 over F2, which also gives plus 3. The magnitude tells us incoming light angle are expanded threefold. Object appears 3 times larger, and the positive signs confirm the final image is upright. Looking at our full system metric, the D element tracks the exiting ray angle relative to the input angle. Theta out equals D times theta in, or 3 theta in. Physically, light rays from a distant object exit the eyepiece at 3 times the angle they entered, magnifying the field of view so the target looks 3 times larger and closer. The A element in seed track ray height Y out equals A times Y in, or 1/3 Y in. This means the physical width of the light beam collected by our 5 cm objective lens gets compressed by a factor of 3 as it exits the eyepiece, concentrating all that gathered light into a tight exit pupil of about 1.67 cm for maximum brightness. For our 20 cm separation, assume parallel incoming rays U equal infinity. For nearby object, ray diverge and the length equals 1 over U plus 1 over V equals 1 over F1. Show the image plane shifting further back. The eyepiece must move to track this Z nu equals V minus F2. For a near object at 200 cm, V works out to about 35.29 cm, giving Z nu of 25.29 cm. So our tube needs to extend from 20 up to about 27.5 cm for close range focusing. In summary, we built and analyzed a compact DIY Galilean telescope under 30 cm long using a plus 30 cm objective and a negative 10 cm eyepiece. ray transfer matrix analyzed confirmed a 20 cm separation for distant object extending to 27.5 cm for near ones with about three times angular magnification and an upright image, successfully demonstrating basic optical principle in a simple, practical way. Thank you.